जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा। राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय प्रभुपादा 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 जय प्रभुपादा। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। दे लॉर्डशिप श्री श्री राधा रघुनाथ की, श्री गिरिराज गोवर्धन की, श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So we continue reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 11, Text 19. Chapter entitled Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj. So Nanto. Okay, let me just check here. Anta Kara Kalo Nadir Adi Krid Avyaya Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityonan Takam Sonanto Nanta Karakalo Nadir Adikrid Avyaya Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityanantakam Sonantananta Karakalo Nadiradikrit Avyayaha Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityanantakam Sonantananta Karakalo Nadiradikrit Avyaya Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityanantakam. Sonantananta Karakalo Anadiradikritavyaya Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityo Anantakam Sonantananta Karakalo Adiradikridavyaya Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityo Anantakam Sonantananta Karakalo Nadir Adikridavyaya Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityanantakam Sonantananta Karakalo Anadiradikritavyaya Janam Janena Janayan Marayan Mrityanantakam. So So we'll do the word for word. Saha He Ananta Infinite Anta Kara Annihilator Kala Time Anadi without beginning Adikrit beginning of everything Avyaya without decrease Janam living entities Janena by living entities Janayan causing to be born Marayan killing Mrityona by death Antakam killers. Should we do the translation? My dear Drova, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time, He is the killer of everything. He has no beginning, although He is the beginning of everything. Nor is He ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agency of the Father and killed through the agency of death. But He is perpetually free of birth and death. The purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The supreme authority and inconceivable power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be minutely studied in this verse. He is always unlimited. That means that He has no creation or end. He is, however, death in the form of time, as described in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, I am death. I take away everything at the end of life. Eternal time is also without beginning, but it is the creator of all creatures. The example is given of touchstone, which creates many valuable stones and jewels, but does not decrease in power. Similarly, creation occurs many times. Everything is maintained, and after a time everything is annihilated. But the original creator, the Supreme Lord, remains untouched and undiminished in power. The secondary creation is made by Brahma, but Brahma is created by the Supreme Godhead. Lord Shiva annihilates the whole creation, but at the end, He is also annihilated by Vishnu. Lord Vishnu remains. In the beginning, in the Vedic hymns, it is stated that in the beginning, there is only Vishnu, and He alone remains at the end. An example can help us to understand the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Lord. In the recent history of warfare, the Supreme Personality of Godhead created a Hitler, and before that, a Napoleon Bonaparte. And they each killed many living entities in war. But in the end, Bonaparte and Hitler were also killed. People are still very much interested in writing and reading books about Hitler and Bonaparte, how they killed so many people in war. Year after year, many books were published for public reading regarding Hitler's killing thousands of Jews in confinement. But no one is researching who killed Hitler and who created such a gigantic killer of human beings. The devotees of the Lord are not much interested in the studying of flickering history of the world. They are interested only in Him who is the original creator, maintainer, and annihilator. That is the purpose of Krishna consciousness movement. My most interesting course that I took had history in it, because I loved history. But yeah, Prabhupada is saying it's all useless. I remember I did Hitler and Bonaparte when I was in standard 6, I think. That is grade 8. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time. He is the killer of everything. He has no beginning, although He is the beginning of everything. Nor is He ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agency of the Father and killed through the agency of death. But He is perpetually free of birth and death. Hare Krishna. So the supreme authority and inconceivable power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be minutely studied from this verse. He is always unlimited. So then we may ask ourselves, what can we speak about the Supreme Lord Krishna? Practically, Prabhupada says, with your tiny brains, what can you understand about the unlimited Supreme Lord Krishna? And it's only by the Lord's mercy can we actually speak about Him. If you read the pastimes of the Lord when He performed His Prakash Leela in the house of Srivas, He called many devotees to Him, and each one He asked them to glorify Him. But I can remember it was Suklambari Brahmachari was one of them, and Kolovecha Sridhar. And I know Sridhar was actually uneducated. He was a banana. He should actually sell those banana cups and stuff. And when the Lord asked him to glorify Him, he replied to the Lord, what can I speak about you? I'm so ignorant like that. So this is the nature of the Vaishnava. He's thinking, what can I say about you, my Lord? Because you know everything. And it's only by your mercy can I speak something. And by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kolovecha Sridhar and Suklambari Brahmachari started speaking very, esoteric philosophy regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So a person who is not very much interested in Krishna consciousness will find such topics boring, fall off to sleep. But for a person who is actually wanting to advance in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna helps him to understand him. Because who can understand Krishna? Only the Vaishnava. And by whose mercy? By the Vaishnava's mercy can we actually understand Krishna. He is, however, death in the form of time, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, I am death. I take away everything at the end of life. I remember once we were doing book distribution. We were walking up a road in Unit 3, and they had the guys on the side of the road with their cars parked in a line. And they were trying to make some fun of us. So anyway, they approached Parida Pavan. I remember he had a whole stack of books with him. He is not a person known for remembering verses. But that day he actually remembered this verse. I remember I was walking past with him. So they were making fun of us, right? You know, they were speaking about our Sikh and said, hey, you guys got a churki in the back. And they were intoxicated, right? Parida Pavan replied to them. He actually approached them and he said, make good use of your life and spend little bit money for one book. So the guy told him, hey, we okay, man. You guys must read this book. You all need it. But we okay. So Parida Pavan, he actually quoted this verse, not as the verse, as the verse from, but the idea was, he said, yeah, see, look up in the sky, the sun is there. And he said, by its rising and by its setting, it's decreasing the duration of your life. But we are reading all the scriptures, and death don't come to us. So that guy was like, Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Giriraj Govardhan ki, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So that guy was actually shocked, because he became a little bit aware of what's going on. He says, yeah. So he repeated the verse. He says, the sun is rising and the sun is setting, and it's decreasing the duration of your life. You're coming very close to your final moment, but you don't realize this. You're wasting your time in intoxication. And us, we actually utilizing our time to read these books and to share it with the people. And the guy, I remember, he took a big donation and he gave it to him, and he took a lot of books. But the guy was intoxicated. He says, so Parida Pavan was somebody who had very quick responses, to people on the streets. Me, I would, after I would have the interaction, I would go back to the place where we lived, and I would think, but I should have responded like this. But he would respond accurately on the spot. He was very good at that. So yeah, most of the people wasting their lives. I remember Raghunath Bhatta when we go to the funeral programs, because there's actually a saying amongst people, hey, where you going? And the guy says, hey, I'm going to kill some time now, so I'm going to go to work afterwards, right? So he was making a point to the people that actually you cannot kill time, but time is actually killing you. Because we're not utilizing our time in proper service to Krishna, then our time is robbed of the opportunity to make spiritual advancement. Like yesterday, every day, I go out in the evenings because I know people are coming from work. So I go and stand by the shopping centers. For the past few weeks, I've been going to Unit 2 just by myself. I take the harmonium out, I put the books on top there, and I start chanting for 2 hours. People come and they stand around and they hear the Hare Krishna mantra, and they go after like 15 minutes, they stand, they go. So I had this one realization, that place where I'm doing the kirtan, it becomes like a mandir. It feels like that. Because you feel the potency of chanting Hare Krishna. You feel the mercy of the Lord. And this is what Caitanya Mahaprabhu recommended. He recommended that we go out there and we share this Krishna consciousness with the rest of the people. And the people, they can feel the potency. Because you get Muslim people come towards me, drop a 5 rand or something there, and they... Because why? They can feel the potency of the Hare Krishna mantra. People come up to you and ask you, what is this? This thing is sounding very nice, very special, but what language is it? So they make conversation with you. And then when I'm done, for 1 hour, it takes me from Unit 2 back to the temple, walking distance. And I meet people on the way. People talk to me, they'll say, hey, where you guys been? Before you guys were here, like every week or something, we would see you. So I says, yeah, we're waiting for you to come join. Like that. So there's so much of opportunity for actual preaching Krishna consciousness, but we just have to not waste time. Time is available for us. We have to utilize the time and to share this Krishna consciousness with others. We can take little bit time to read for our own purification and our own understanding, but we should utilize the rest of our time to help people come closer to Krishna. And then Krishna consciousness becomes easy for you because you're helping others. Right? Where are we? The example is given in touchstone, which creates many valuable stones and jewels, but does not decrease in power. Similarly, creation occurs many times. Everything is maintained, and after a time, everything is annihilated. But the original Creator, the Supreme Lord, remains untouched and undiminished in power. The secondary creation is made by Brahma. I remember, like in the Bible it is said, that Lord created and then He took rest. But when I heard this from another Christian guy, I said, hey, why the Lord took rest? The Lord got tired like us when He did this vast creation. But then after coming to Krishna consciousness, I realized that actually that verse could be pertaining to Lord Brahma, who after the creation took rest. Because the Supreme Lord's transcendental body is never affected by the material qualities. Like you do something, right? And you have to take rest at night. After working throughout the whole day. At night you feel tired and you got to take rest. Because your body is not inexhaustible. Your body will come to an end eventually. So your body is affected by the modes of material nature. You notice that as you advance in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says even your sleep will actually decrease. Right? Prabhupada hardly even slept. Even the Goswamis of Vrindavan hardly even slept. Because the advanced devotees think that sleep is useless. They use their time to actually glorify the Lord. So that's why in the Bhagavad Gita it is recommended that we regulate the sleeping and eating habits of the body. So we can make the body peaceful enough to practice Krishna consciousness. Because if you're not sleeping enough, or if you're sleeping less, or if you're eating too much, or you're eating less, then that will affect your mind and also the body. Isn't? You feel drowsy when you're supposed to be awake, especially in the Srimad Bhagavatam class where your attention is required. and you fall off to sleep. I remember when I first joined, I don't know what the person was even saying. It was like boring for me, and because I actually lived a life that was not conducive to Krishna consciousness, and not long after that I was staying in a temple. So it took me I could say maybe a year to come like normal. Waking up for Mangal Arati was hectic, inconsistent. But like yesterday's, the speaker was saying that we are practicing Krishna consciousness, and she mentioned the transcendental qualities that are not seen, in the practitioner as yet, or those who are practicing sadhana. But if you read the nectar of instruction, there are certain things that you do in order to actually make progress. So, including ourselves, we have to be enthusiastic. We have to endeavor with confidence. And we have to be patient. With these transcendental qualities are not going to appear in our bodies immediately. Maybe for some it will be quicker. But it's not easy to be enthusiastic all the time. You have to be around enthusiastic people to be enthusiastic. But it may not be the same for all of us. So we have to be patient, not only for ourselves. We have to be patient for others as well. That they will come, but they will come in their own pace. We have to be considerate. We have to consider the advancement of others, that everyone will advance in their own pace. But the most important thing is that you always stick to the process of Krishna consciousness. Because the material energy can sway you at any moment like that. In a moment you can be gone. It all requires a moment of lack of concentration and you're gone. So even when you chant Hare Krishna, it should be done properly. It should be done with concentration, with feeling. And if you're not feeling like chanting, then feel like feeling like to chant. Get the feeling. And one thing that helps me to chant Hare Krishna for my sadhana is posture. How you sit is very important. Now I even got a block. So the block helps me to sit properly. So you have to do everything possible to help you to chant and hear better. And you'll be amazed when you start hearing the holy name. You'll be amazed and you'll be thinking, but why didn't I try or put an effort to hear like this previously? You read in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. I always wondered, what is this got to do with Krishna consciousness? In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, those of you who have read the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a verse, and there's few verses, which is encouraging us to perform asana. Now I was thinking, well, what is the use of that for us? But actually, if you perform certain asanas, they become very beneficial to your practice of Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada himself is, in those purports, he is speaking about brahmacharya, performing asanas. This is required. So I'm thinking about what it is to do with us practicing Krishna consciousness. We don't perform asanas. But when we chant our japa, we perform in asanas. Some of us, we sit and chant. So that's actually an asana. And if those who have a lot of material desires, especially the urge for sex life, the asanas are actually very helpful. Because it regulates the body. It basically makes the body calm. Especially if the body is deep in the mode of passion and ignorance. So the asanas are there to actually calm the body. If your body is calm, you can chant Hare Krishna with enthusiasm, with concentration, with vigor. You hear in the holy name. Otherwise, you chanting Hare Krishna, you're going to fall off to sleep if you're not sitting properly. Like that. So asanas are there and they should be utilized. You should use them for the purpose of hearing Hare Krishna properly. Lord Shiva annihilates the whole creation. What's the time now? 8:15. Lord Krishna annihilates the whole creation. But how did you know? Because you was like that. Oh, okay. That was such, you had some mystical power there. Okay, so Lord Shiva annihilates the whole creation, but at the end, he is also annihilated by Vishnu. That's quite something. Lord Vishnu remains. In the Vedic hymns, it is stated that in the beginning there is also Vishnu, and that he is alone, and that he alone remains at the end. You will hear in the 12th canto of Markandeya Rishi, right? When there was a dissolution, and he was all alone in the great or vast ocean, and the waves were tossing him here and there, and there were greater waves coming, because he wanted to see the Lord's material energy, and he saw it in the form of the dissolution of the universe, and the waves were coming high. And I was reading that because I joined the temple. We were reading the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And we came to that 12th canto and the pastime of Markandeya Rishi, and it was like scary that there's a small jiva and he's in this great ocean and he's being tossed from one end to the other, and he's just managing to stay afloat. And I was thinking, this is so scary, because I cannot swim, right? I cannot swim, but you can imagine yourself in this great ocean and you're not drowning. It's quite amazing. And every time I actually go to the ocean, if I'm around that area, I actually think about the vastness of the ocean. I used to work in the harbor, and we used to go onto the ship sometimes, and the ship will take us from one port to the next port, because I will be working on the same ship. And going onto the ship, I should think, hell no, don't sink. Because if I sink, I'm dead. I'm dead. I used to think like that. We used to work on an American ship called the Max Liner. And that was quite an interesting part of life, working in the harbor. I used to work with one guy, his name was Paul. Paul had problems with his wife. And every night when he should come to work, he should exchange one cigarette with me. And he should explain me his whole story from the time we go to work till the end. The man is talking about his wife and how he actually wants her to come back to him. Sometimes I actually remember Paul and I pray, Paul, I hope you become a Hare Krishna. Or sometime we meet each other again. He was a nice person. If I only knew Krishna consciousness that time, I would have shared it with him. People are very much interested in writing and reading books about Hitler and Bonaparte and how they killed so many people in war. Year after year, many books are published for public reading regarding Hitler's killing thousands of Jews in confinement. But no one is researching who killed Hitler and who created such gigantic killer of human beings. The devotees of the Lord are not interested in the study of the flickering history of the world. They are interested only in Him who is the original creator, maintainer, and annihilator. That is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. So, Prabhupada says that we should make a plan, we should organize ourselves. We should plan how we're going to go back to Godhead. Prabhupada says that in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. He says that a devotee is very much aware of the presence of the material energy. And he positions himself in Krishna consciousness in such a way that he doesn't fall down. So we should position ourselves in such a way that we are protected by devotional service, Krishna consciousness, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the reading of Srila Prabhupada's books, and the association of devotees. Because this is the only way that we will actually be able to remain focused, enthusiastic, confident, and we will be patiently awaiting for the Lord's mercy. At the end of your life, you will be in love of God. That we will all be eagerly awaiting. But we have to be enthusiastic for that, right? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Are there any comments, questions or corrections? We got the loud and clear Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.